Good afternoon, 49er faithful. Here we are. It is playoff weekend. Wildcard weekend is upon us. We are celebrating the Niners playing the Seahawks today at Levi's Stadium. I'll tell you what, it is rainy and miserable here in Portland, much like it is rainy and miserable down there in Santa Clara. I had the last minute inclination to make the trip happen, to go ahead and purchase the ticket. I would tell you that faithful were a little soft in lowering their ticket prices because those prices were coming down drastically. It was pretty tempting to buy a club level seat in the $300 range. That's absurd to be able to get that kind of a deal. It was really tempting to just fly down, take an Alaska Airlines straight into SFO, grab a rental car, drive down to the game, sit at the 50-yard line, fly back up to Portland. But I'll tell you what, man, even though I would have brought plenty of rain gear, I will say that sitting there in the rain and then having to wait 6 hours for my flight at the airport maybe would have been a little more misery than I was looking for. To those of you that are out there braving the elements, I want to say kudos. I think that's the way football should be watched, so long as you have access to dry off after the game, or if you plan on getting obliterated and will not feel the wetness that you are then soaked with. It's the only way to watch football. Embrace the moment, embrace the playoff atmosphere, embrace the weather. The Mud Bowl will begin shortly, and I am all about it. Got to get to some of the chat first, and then we've got CJ Gray as our first guest coming in. The Stivers Niners 209 show says, Rob, go Niners, go Nick Bosa, and go Brock Purdy. Go Christian McCaffrey. Alan coming in. He is down below. Sneakerhead here on the channel. It's game day. Let's fucking go. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Debo, that like button. Devin Cullen coming in. Did Rob end up going to the game after all? No, he did not. He is in Portland. He will be there next week. I think I just have to wait for the next opponent. Randall Riley coming in just to say, let's go. Peter Lee, hey, Rob, it's game day. Let's go Niners. Randall Riley coming back in. TDs for Mitchell again today. Maybe I should have picked him in my postseason fantasy football league. Nick Garfoot, evening, Rob. Let's go Niners. Nick, I hope you're watching live over there in England. All right, Charles Alt coming in. Let's go. Charles Alt the third. Oh, which one's the third and which one's the fourth? They're no longer in the title. I'll take it. Let's go Niners. Charles, are either one of you there at the game? Bay Marin says, you were there last year in Green Bay, weren't you? Yes, I was. I was in Green Bay. I was there in Los Angeles. And this year we'll certainly be at some playoff games as we continue to progress. CarCast coming in. What's up, Rob? Good to see you. Shane, AZ, 49ers Empire. Woohoo, 49ers all day, baby. Let's fucking go. I am doing well. Thank you for asking, CarCast. It is fantastic to be here celebrating the Niners in the playoffs. Ravens 76. Be more. Good luck, 49ers, from the Baltimore Ravens. That is much appreciated. Absolutely faithful since 1946. I'm pumped. Let's go. Raphael 562 in the building. Jonas in the building. Sneakerhead here on the channel says, hey, Rob, all the way from Norway. Welcome in from Norway. All right, fantastic. We are getting in to CJ Gray. Charles, this makes sense. This makes total sense. The third is the Sneakerhead. The fourth is not. As it would be with my father and me when it comes to subscriptions as well. I'm less likely to have those recurring subscriptions myself. I appreciate you being a sneakerhead here on the channel. Speaking of sneakerheads, we're going to get into the call in. For those of you that are looking for the link, let me just drop it. It is on the community tab of my YouTube page. So if you are a member of the channel, got to be a member to call in. You can definitely put in your thoughts in the chat and we will get to those. If you are putting your thoughts in the chat, do me that favor and hit the @Rob before your comment, much like Charles did here, that little @Rob there. Game time coming in. Bang, bang, Niner gang. All right, I am posting the link to the community tab wherein you will find the call-in link. You have to be a member to use it. If not, hit me in the chat. We'll talk about your topics. Let me bring CJ Gray into the stream. CJ, it has been far too long, my friend. How are you doing today, and how are you feeling about this game?
I feel like it's the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
A great deal of this core of this team has gone to the Super Bowl, and also has lost in the NFC Championship game. My dad wrote me. He said, "I hate that y'all have to play in the rain." My dad is a Carolina Panther fan, so the whole Christian McCaffrey symmetry thing got that thing going. But getting into this team is focused.
Yes.
The veterans of this team, your Kittle, your Debo, your Bosa, your Warner, and your Jimmy Ward. These people, these are your premier, your leaders, captains of your team somewhat. And these people are hungry for this ring. And so
yes.
I just don't see this season. I don't see it being denied. The number
you think that they will physically
ahead.
will themselves to a win, regardless of the freaking weather that we're going through? Like, this group is locked in, physically ready to dominate today.
And the last time that we talked, man, I don't think we was even in the winning streak of magnitude since the last time that we spoke. So it's kind of crazy.
Been a little bit.
We're connecting after going through a 10-game winning streak. I've never been at that rain game in Chicago with you, and things are way different right now.
They are.
And so they are way different. And then, like, I like the symmetry that we got going on with the Rams and the 99 season of the Rams. I like that. Got a number 13 that comes out of nowhere. Got Christian McCaffrey, who's the modern day Marshall Faulk, who they acquired right before that magical season. And
yes.
He seems to be the catalyst of it all. In our case, Christian McCaffrey is the catalyst of it all. And I just, quite frankly, don't believe that Seattle or anybody else in the NFC conference has any kind of answer for Christian McCaffrey, CMC.
I love that. And I think you're right. I mean, he is such a dynamic player. I was just hitting the gym right before this, and the dude that I train with is a Carolina Panthers fan. So he is now on the 49ers bandwagon. He is riding that through the playoffs. I'm like, yes, welcome aboard. We got plenty of room. Anybody that wants to hop on, you are more than welcome. This is the team to root for, especially if you want to have a team that you can ride off into the sunset with. It just strikes me as too much talent, too much will to win. I'm excited to see it actually play out on the field, because this is going to be a physical game. Pete Carroll does a wonderful job in getting his teams ready to play. So while I'm 100% with you that the 49ers are going to come out on fire, I believe Seattle is going to be a physical team as well. And I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup in the rain, in the mud. Going to be a good one.
I see this going similar to the first game.
A little bit of a mismatch.
That's kind of how I see it, our first matchup. And the second matchup, really, the refs got in our way.
That's fair.
And I think in the playoffs, the refs don't get in the way that much.
No, they back up.
They don't get in the way that much. It's just like the NBA playoffs.
They tuck those flags away.
You get the foul a little bit more. You get they could go call a little ticky-tack hand check things in the NBA. They ain't calling that in the playoffs. And you in the playoffs, man, Bosa puts a hit on the quarterback and that ball flutters and we get an interception. They're not calling no roughing the passer. That's going to be an interception, and that's going to be a pick six this time.
Yep. So Mooney Ward out there on DK laying hands on him every single snap, just pressing. They're going to allow that.
They're going to let it go a little bit today.
Yes, they are.
So I just think that we're too physical. We're too dominant. We have too many all-pros. We have too many Pro Bowlers. We have too many up-and-coming players. Brock Purdy has come out of nowhere. And I just think that this playoff environment is not going to rattle this kid. This kid is going to continue to do what he has been doing throughout his 6 games being out there. I don't think Kyle is going to ask him to do things just outside the skill set during the playoffs. Like he did a little couple of things in the regular season, called a couple of things that was outside of the kid's skill set, like trying to throw that deep thing to Kittle from one side to the next. That's a Mahomes or Josh Allen play. That's not a Brock Purdy play. So I suspect that we're going to stay within that intermediate range. and just give him a lot of CMC. And then also we got Elijah Mitchell. And then the thing I wanted to touch on too before I get out of here is Deebo Samuel.
Deebo's healthy.
He's healthy, and I think that he's been missing all year.
Yeah.
And if we've noticed that he's been missing, I think other teams have been noticing he's missing. And maybe, just maybe, there won't be an entire team running after him when he gets the football during the playoffs. Just maybe Shanahan's got one in his bag, or even maybe go deep, or maybe go on like a 20 to 25 yard pass downfield to Deebo, because the book of tendencies is you use him along the line of scrimmage, and perhaps he might get behind the defense, and it might happen this game.
Let me ask you something, because it feels like an obvious statement to say, hey, the Seahawks are terrible at allowing yards after the catch. The 49ers are phenomenal at gaining yards after the catch. That feels like a mismatch that the Niners will aggressively pursue. However, again, back to Pete Carroll and giving him his due as an excellent head coach, as much as it begrudges me to say that, I will point out that I feel like Pete Carroll may do some things to attempt to eliminate that. Will he be able to take away that short game? Will he force the 49ers out of their comfort zone and push the ball outside, down the field, lean on the run game? Will he be able to take away those yards after the catch?
I think there's going to be – Seattle's going to overplay. They're going to play heavy up front. And so we're going to need like a 20-yard over route to Kittle, or 20-yard over route to Deebo, because I just think to Deebo, they're not going to see that coming.
Right.
And I just think that he's got one of these things dialed up for this game, for one of those 20-yard over routes, going from the right side of the field to the left side of the field, which is Brock Purdy's strengths. And he's going to pull one of those. He's going to pull one of those on Seattle today. And then we're going to see Deebo reemerge in these playoffs.
And that opens things up from there, allowing us to get back to our comfort zone. I love that. What's going to be the key to the game, and how do you see this one shaking out? Do you have a final score prediction that you're rolling with?
Got out of the score prediction business. Got out of that.
Hey, just what do you think is the key to the game? What do you think the Niners need to do to win this one?
I think that they just need to really run heavy. Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell.
Conservative game plan. Just be the better team, right? Physically outmatch them. Yeah,
and give them about 35 carries, but have a play fake in there where you take advantage of Seattle's game plan and you get them down the field at least once, and allowing them to allow things to be a little deceptive, to mix things up on them. Give them something they don't expect, and then what you were saying, get back to the run game after you hit them with one of those.
I love it, man. I can't wait to see this thing play out, CJ. It's great to see your face as well, hear your voice, my friend. It's been too long since we've talked football. You know I enjoy it. I look forward to doing it again, hopefully before a division matchup, my friend.
Absolutely. I'll be right back.
Hey, man, you take care of yourself. Enjoy the game today, and I hope to talk to you soon.
All right, Rob.
Hey, take care, CJ. All right, we are going over to Alan in just a moment. Let me get to a couple of comments here in the chat. Appreciate everybody that is putting those thoughts in the chat. Difference maker coming in to ask, I thought you were going to the game, Rob. I was. I did the math. I started calculating. Well, that's about $1,000 for this weekend, probably about $1,200, $1,500 for next weekend. And then going out to Philly, I'm probably looking at $2,000, $2,500 for this. And then the Super Bowl. So I started doing the math, and the fiscally responsible Rob said, you know what? You've seen Seattle. You've been to Levi's Stadium. We're going to handle business today. You will have an opportunity to see a playoff game. So I decided to be a bit more fiscally conservative going into this one. Jason Walsh coming in. What's up, Rob? And Niner Nation, let's fucking go get this W. Apologize for the language, but it's playoff weekend, and I have to be excited. I am excited. I have to allow that excitement to come out. I'm excited to bring up William Bennett super chat here. William Bennett in the house. William, we've got to connect soon. He says, what's up, Rob? Let's go Niners Gold Rush, baby. Revival H2O believes, hey, because of the weather, this will be a run and defensive game. Debo will score. I love it. Absolutely love that prediction. Raphael 562 Niners. This will be a CMC second playoff game, and he's angry. Watch out, Seattle. Yeah, you snub Christian McCaffrey, and now he's going to take it out on you. Peter Lee says, Rob, is the mug still on the line here? It is. If you have made your prediction in the Between Two Beards episode, or you make a prediction here, you're only allowed to make one prediction. So if you've already made a prediction, that is locked in. I'll have to go back through and make sure that there aren't duplicates. The rule is there's a mug on the line. Not this mug. This is my mug. This is my mug right there. I mean, you don't want a used mug anyway. You want a new mug. There is a new mug on the line for you if you're the only one to get the score prediction right. So if you pick the score that no one else selected, you will win a mug. I will ship it out to you at my cost. Absolutely, that mug is on the line. Love it. All right, let me get over to my next guest. We have got Alan Eliza coming into the stream. Alan, fantastic to see you, sir. Welcome to the stream. Are you excited for Wild Card Weekend?
Oh, F yes. I am totally ready.
You can drop it. Say it. Say it, Alan. Say the word.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go.
Yes, Alan. Yes. That is the excitement. That is the smile. That is what I needed to see, my friend. We are going to show the world what this team is capable of today. This is our chance. This is where we need to prove what we are made of. This defense needs to come out to play in the rain.
It sure does. And I'm wearing my jersey. So
yes,
here we
sir.
Go.
Now, this is, you've been on the correct jersey for the win streak. Is that correct? That you have landed on the magical combination that has culminated in 10 Niner victories to this point.
So far, yep.
Yes, sir. I absolutely love it. I've got to shift my gear as I get off of this program. I'm going to leave a couple of minutes to get upstairs, shift my gear to the appropriate attire myself, and then I will be keyed in.
Perfect.
Love it. Okay, so what do you see as the keys to this game? Do you still view this as, hey, man, we're just a better team than Seattle, and therefore we should be able to handle business? Or do you look at it, hey, this is the third time that we're playing this team. It gets progressively harder to beat teams within the NFL as you go through the season. Tough to beat them a third time. Pete Carroll is going to have his players ready to play, and the rain evens the playing field a little bit. Which end of the spectrum do you find yourself on? Are you predicting a more of a blowout or a closer matchup?
I'm predicting probably a 2-score game.
Nice.
Total. Because I think it's going to come down to the running game and we're better in the rain on natural grass than they are, because they play on artificial turf up there in Seattle. So they're not as used to the slugfest that is going to come out today.
Yes, I'm with CJ, who was there with me in Chicago. Good decision not to go to another rain game, Rob. Yeah, that was tough. The rain in Chicago was something. But hey, this team has been through some rain, played on some grass in some ugly games. I do feel like we have the advantage, in particular, leaning on the run game. Do you think the Niners will be able to stymie Kenneth Walker the way in which they have the vast majority of the season with opposing teams' running backs?
I do, because I don't think Kinlaw is going to be on a count anymore.
You think Kinlaw is full go? There's no reason to hold him back. You are now on the road to the Super Bowl, one game, and you are out. There's no reason to pull any punches.
Yeah, I think Kinlaw is going to be fine. I'm actually going to retract from many weeks ago calling him a bust. He's been nothing but lights out, even on that snap count. So,
I like the admission of, hey, I was wrong. Kinlaw has proved me wrong. I freaking love it, man.
Yeah, and that was the one thing I needed to see with him coming back, was him to be lights out from the start. So he has been stopping that goal line stand against Washington and just everything else. I'm just like, okay, I'm not saying that's good. I'm saying let's keep an eye on him and see what happens, and maybe even option out that 5th-year option before the season starts next year.
Is that the key to the game for this defense, to make Seattle one-dimensional, take away the run game, and then just be able to focus on getting after Geno Smith?
Yeah, I think so.
I agree. I totally agree. When you look at the Niners, are you predicting lean on Christian McCaffrey day, get those carries up around 30 carries for McCaffrey? How do you see it shaking out on our side of the ball?
I would think Christian to get somewhere near 25 to 28, get Elijah about 10, and Debo maybe like 3 or 4.
So you're pushing towards that 40 carry game that is the mark of success for the Niners. When we hit that 40 burger, we are dominating.
Yeah, and even maybe another one of those 75-yard end arounds to Ray. That'd be nice.
Yes, that would be phenomenal. Do you agree with Ed V here coming in saying Geno Smith is going to go after Diamador Lenore? That seems like the weakest link within the secondary. Nothing against Diamador Lenore. It's that Mooney Ward is a stud, and Jimmy Ward has stepped into the nickel role and embraced it and is playing phenomenal coverage. So he's the weakest link. It's not necessarily that he's bad, but he certainly has been picked on in recent weeks.
He is probably gonna pick on Diamador Lenore because he is the weakest link, but I think Diamador is gonna kind of come out like Ambry Thomas did last year during the playoffs. He's gonna step that up. Yeah, he's gonna step everything up. It's win or go home time, and we've been playing win or go home for the last 10 weeks. So
it is win or go home time. Just saying hello to Treasure Kisses here. Kenneth comes in with this one. Kenneth Kelly, rookie tackles out there against Bosa. Good luck. Sack lunch time, baby. Does Bosa get home? Does he get home multiple times in this game? He certainly feels like he's due for a multi-sack performance at some point in the coming weeks.
Against rookies, I'm going to say he's going to get 2, 1.5 to 2.
I love it.
Maybe more because of the rain, and Geno's going to have to haul into that ball, especially if we can get them into that one-dimensional area, where we're up 2, maybe 3 scores, and they get a late score late.
Absolutely love it. I'm here for that finish. Absolutely. And I'm here with Waveware saying, keep Geno off balance. If you had to predict how this one breaks out, you said it's a 2-score game that you've got. Do you have a final score prediction for this one?
I'm between 21-10 and 24-13 or 14, somewhere in there.
I like that. I like both of those. I believe I landed on 23-10. I have it written down. Yes, 23-10 in my notes. I couldn't recall if it was 26 or 23-10. So that's about where I'm at as well. Big question here, because as the playoffs roll in, this is very important, but do you have a favorite game time snack? Is there a game time food that is a staple in Alan's household?
Not this year, but usually we do chicken wings or something.
Yes. I do a mean queso dip. I do a little Velveeta, some green chili in there, some onions, some Rotel chilies with the tomato mix in there. It melts so nicely. Tortilla chips, just a game changer. It is phenomenal. I will have to make some.
Awesome. That sounds good.
Yes, sir. Hey, always a pleasure talking to you, Alan. Enjoy the game, man. I hope that it is a clear victory and that you're right. It's a 2-score game and we can rest easy and celebrate. But we will be on again soon, hopefully talking about the divisional matchup.
Yes, sir. Have a good time. Alan. Enjoy the game.
Hey, you too. Take care. All right, bringing in to the stream. By the way, we got Waveware says sausage and beef. Gotta max out on the meat for the playoffs. CJ Gray, I like this one. Debo is fresh for the playoffs, not been used like last season. And we have other weapons for the first time. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's bring in Korean 49er to the stream. My man, it has been a while. How are you doing? Are you excited about this matchup? How do you feel it favors the 49ers?
I'm good, Rob. How about yourself?
I am doing spectacular. It has been admittedly a little bit of a stressful week, but now we're here. Now it's almost game time. 24 minutes until kickoff. I'm excited.
I'm thinking it's going to be score 27-14.
27-14. I'll absolutely take a 13-point victory. What do you view as the biggest key for the 49ers? What are they going to attempt to do, and what will they be successful at doing?
They can't have any of the defensive secondary breakdowns.
Ooh, so you got to make sure that Huff is solid in his play, that he's not overly aggressive. Let me ask that question as a follow-up, because I do think it's interesting. DeMeco Ryans at times is very aggressive. This defense is talented enough, and the differential in talent between these two teams feels enough that you could play a bit more conservative. If you were DeMeco Ryans, would you be more conservative in your defensive approach and try to eliminate any blown coverages, or would you be aggressive and try to put Seattle away early?
I try to put them away early. That's just how I always am.
You're an aggressive dude. You're going after it. I like it.
Why not? You got good players on the defense. Might as well at least attempt to end it early. If you get a takeaway early and a quick score after that, all you can ask for.
Get that quick turnaround. I would be thrilled if we could really put our foots on their necks and choke them out early in this one. I'm not entirely convinced that's going to be the case. I think it would have been the case if it weren't for the rain. The rain is what has me worried in this one. Do you believe that we're going to be able to stop Kenneth Walker? To me, that's the biggest key to the game, is stopping him, and whether we will or will not be able to. What's your prediction of that?
I think they can't give up any big chunk runs. We'll just say 10 to 15
Yeah,
yards.
allow those 3, 4, 5 yard runs, hopefully a couple of stuffs at the line of scrimmage. Keep that average somewhere down there in the 3.5 to 4 range where it's not a dagger in the back.
Yes. And also
like
in the last game, Seattle did slow down Brock because they did get the interception against him. So we'll have to Pete Carroll is wily in that manner.
Am I wrong about that? That Pete Carroll is, as much as I hate to admit it, he gets his players fired up for these kind of games, doesn't he?
Yeah. The only time I seen his players get fired up was that interception that Russell Wilson threw in that Super Bowl at the goal line.
Oh, man. I love Sherman now that he's been a Niner, but I had that look of disgust on his face on repeat that day where he watched that turnover in the end zone. I delighted in that. I will honestly say, not proud of that moment, but I absolutely delighted in it.
Yes. So one last point, and I'll let you go, Rob. In where I live outside Chicago, on the Bears postgame show on the radio that most people listen to, there was a player that actually played in the game where an NFL player died. That was the 1971 Bears versus Lions game where Chuck Hughes collapsed in front of Dick Butkus. I collapsed too in front of Dick Butkus just so he doesn't kill me. Another story. Chuck Hughes had a heart attack during that game.
Man.
And they continued the game until it was done. They took him off the field, and so
Different
you can
era.
die during.
Right?
So players can die during games. I mean, as I say, we've seen players like Darryl Stingley and Mike Utley and quite a few others get paralyzed on the field.
For sure.
So you know that there is a risk when you collide with a fellow human being.
Absolutely. But I'll say this, like there are times where I think, we've gotten softer as a society. I think we have moved in the right direction here. I think the idea that game got canceled instead of going forward was the absolute right thing to do. Like we've started to consider mental health, the human aspect, people's lives beyond football. And I think that is a progression in the right direction.
But there is one thing that they always say: when you put your name on the dotted line, you know the risks when you go in and play the game. I mean,
yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think all of these players are cognizant of the risk, and that's part of why it's so hard to get back to action. Is like they know that they're putting their bodies on the line. So absolutely.
I mean, we could talk about another sport like hockey, where back in the day, the goalies didn't wear face masks and the players didn't wear helmets.
Yes.
And if you took a tumble into the boards.
Ironically, though, like you give them those leather helmets or like rugby, and they tend to hit their heads less. It is because they have those helmets on that they go head first so often. It's contradictory to the logic of it. But I agree with you that I am all for the violence of this game. It's part of what draws me to it. These guys are all gladiators, and I tip my cap to all of them. Korean 49er, it is always a pleasure chatting with you, my friend.
Later, Rob.
Hey, take care. I will talk to you soon. Go Niners. All right, we are bringing in Jonas, who is coming in from Norway. Welcome to the stream, Jonas. Good to see you.
Hey, I mean, you're not seeing me. You're seeing Roger Federer, the tennis player.
Roger Federer, Jonas, potato in my book.
Yeah. You know, I just want to make sure. Maybe not everybody knows Roger Federer, which, even though it would be weird, the people watching it.
Yes. Not quite related to the 49ers content, but it doesn't matter. So what's your prediction of how this thing turns out? Do you see it as a bit of a dog walk game, or are you worried that this is going to be a tight one?
Well, here's what I think, Rob. As we found out in both the recent postseason and every postseason run for any team, playoffs, the style points are out. No one will remember whether you won 17-13 or 41-10. No one will care. So to me, when it comes to playoffs, all I care about is find a way to win with the least damage. Do you know what I mean? Because this is a high contact sport. So it's like, it's going to be a lot of injuries. So you just want the least amount of damage and just find a way to move through to the next round.
I agree. This is going to be a very physical game. I think these two teams have a strong disdain for one another, and it showed itself on the field in week 15, particularly in between DK Metcalf and Mooney Ward. I expect to see more of that today. I would not be surprised if a couple minor scuffles break out.
Oh, I would not be either. One thing I would say is that previous callers have talked about this. You know, Rob, a lot of people have been referring to the Niners as a run-first team, but the West Coast offense at its core is pass to run up, to set up the run. That's how Bill Walsh intended it to be. So if you look at the Atlanta Falcons in 2016, the last time Kyle actually ran, they actually passed the ball 61% of the time, and they ran the ball 38% of the time. But they were one of the most efficient teams at running the ball. Why? Because they were so good at passing the ball. That's one thing I've noticed recently, is that we do pass the ball quite a bit on first down. And when you gain 20 yards on first down on a pass, suddenly the defense is kind of like, oh, wait, what just happened? We had 8 men around the line of scrimmage, and then they still got 20 yards. So it's like, I feel like this is the best version of this offense under Kyle Shanahan, where the pass is very efficient and it's setting up the run. It's opening up lanes for the run. So I just hope that we have, especially in the first few series, Rob, I would like to see a lot of like pass on first down, because I feel like Seattle will be selling out to stop the run. Misdirection, like to me, Seattle could be in for a huge surprise if Kyle does what I think he will.
I also think that they have to continue to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield on screens and just making the defense pay for over-aggression, playing the run too much, getting after the passer too much. We've definitely got to be able to pick our spots and take those shots that make Seattle play defense the way we want them to, as opposed to them being able to dictate the pace of the game.
Oh, for sure. And one other thing I would say, a point that the first guy, Gray, I forgot his name, pointed out.
CJ Gray.
Yeah, he said that the pass that the play that Kyle dialed up for Kittle in the Raiders game, he said, don't do that. But that was not on Kyle. It was on Purdy. First of all, going too far to the left. You should not go so far to the left because you don't have the kind of arm to go it from there to the other side. So right. He had a clean pocket. If you saw that, it was a great play call. He had a great pocket. He should have so that was a great play call. So it's just, fans, they're about results rather than process. The process was great. So I hope he keeps calling plays like that for wide open men.
Yes, to scheme some of those wide open looks, to take advantage of whatever Seattle has given us, and to take the top off of the defense. You have to challenge them down the field. In particular, in a rain game, I'm guessing that Pete Carroll's going to dare us to throw it deep, right? He's going to say, no, I don't think you're going to. I don't think you're going to complete it. When you do, we're going to play aggressively at the line of scrimmage. And if we allow that to happen and can't complete some deep passes, I think we will see a closer game than we'd like to.
Oh, definitely. He's going to do that. And you know what? I've been seeing, Rob, we keep running these routes where a man clears out and then the middle of the field is open. I just wonder one of these times, because the man deep is almost always open, I've noticed. So I wonder one of these times if he's just gonna heave it, because the guy is open. So you can't overthrow him because it's Danny Gray. So I just wonder, maybe it's not this game, maybe it's next game. I feel like we're gonna see a touchdown for Danny Gray one of these games. And I also think I have a prediction for this game. I think Ray will get a touchdown.
Ray McLeod finding
I don't
the
know
end
how,
zone in this one?
Oh, but he'll do it. Yes.
I love it. I love the prediction. I feel like Kyle Shanahan often does that. Zigs when others are zagging, and I'm sure has the intention to take advantage of whatever is open, but oftentimes that is going the opposite direction of what the other team would expect. So if they're double covering Debo, now all of a sudden you're leaking Ray out the backside, right? I mean, that's an awkward way to put it.
That's
right.
right.
Every
yeah,
now and then I say something, I hear myself say it, and I'm like, Rob,
no, it's actually
rephrase
good
that next time.
No, but that's what Kyle does. That's why he's such a great game planner.
Yes.
And
he's amazing. He smells blood in the water. He goes after it.
Exactly. And the difference that I have noticed, a lot of people have discussed, what has been the difference between Jimmy? We can't do Lance because he only played 4 games, so I'm keeping him out of this. Because we saw Jimmy a sample size of 50 games.
Yeah.
And it's like, what has been the difference? To me, the main difference has been this simple. And it's not simple. It's complicated and simple at the same time. Execution. Have you even seen the screens? Even the screens, Purdy is waiting until the last moment. So they set up their blocks. Like everything, I feel like we don't see these slants that are high and that put the players in danger. We don't see balls that have to be picked up off the ground like we used to see. Like, I just feel like everything is being executed much better. And as long as the execution keeps being at this level, I really don't see any team beating us. I'm not even joking. I don't see, if the 49ers execute on offense and defense, to me, they're the best coached team out of all these teams on both sides.
Yes.
So
I love
my
that
prediction,
statement.
I'm gonna let someone else come in. I don't know if I'm the last or something. My prediction for the game is 49ers 31, Seahawks 16. That's my prediction.
31-16. I love it. And I always love your breakdowns. Very insightful, always backed up with logic. Appreciate the call, as always. We'll get to our last 2 callers, and then it's freaking game time, baby. A pleasure having you on.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Absolutely. Take care. Enjoy the game. All right, we are bringing into the stream. Josh is coming up next, and we'll see if we can get. We had Sean 9519ers. I know he was in the Uber, had to drop for a minute. We'll see if we can get him in. Josh, welcome into the stream. Let's go, Niners.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
Hey, man, I am fired up. I'm ready for this game. I got to get into the playoffs. First playoff game of Super Wild Card Weekend. How do you feel about this one, man? Is the rain gonna keep it tight, or are the Niners gonna open this one up in the second half?
I think at first I was thinking George Kittle was gonna have a really big game, but the rain might stop that. So I think it's gonna be a ground game. Strictly, like, it's gonna be ground and pound. Our O-line will control the trenches, I believe. But I think other than that, yeah, I think it's gonna be a defensive struggle on both sides because of the rain. That'll be a major factor.
I do think that evens the playing field. By the way, Game Time saying 12 more minutes. Peter Lee says almost introduction to national anthem. When I'm at a game, the national anthem still to this day brings chills down my spine. Has much less to do with the song than the football game. It is just my memories of my childhood, all those games at Candlestick Park with my brother, with my dad. And man, I do miss being at the game for that fact, but I'll tell you, looking outside, looking at this rain, looking at what the weather is like there in Santa Clara, I'm not all that sad to be watching on my TV today. It's going to be a pleasant viewing experience. Let me bring in Tom Jensen's comment here. Tom Jensen, super insightful sneakerhead here on the channel, says, Rob, Seattle defense, disguise coverages, man, spy Christian McCaffrey, blitz. Seattle offense, Walker as a receiver, feed DK, Geno running the ball. San Francisco, run left, roll out, short, wide, yak, yardage, diversify. San Francisco defense, no shots. Dre stops Walker. San Francisco, 27-17. That is strong logic. What are your keys to the game in this one? How do you see the 49ers stymieing Seattle?
I would say they have to be able to stop the deep ball from Geno. They have to.
Gino, do you see the bigger threat as DK or Tyler Lockett?
Definitely Lockett, because I think he's going to have more opportunities.
Yeah.
Where Mooney Ward's going to lock down Metcalf, and he's probably going to get inside his head like he did last game even. So I think
Mooney is money. Love it.
Yeah.
Do you think that Seattle will be able to scheme ways to get Tyler Lockett on Diamador Lenore on a more regular basis, unlike Week 15?
I do think so. Just because they know they can't go after Mooney Ward as much, and Tashawn Gibson's really stepped up his game, so they can't really put it in his area too much because he comes up with interceptions like they just find him. It's crazy. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna have to be we're gonna have to stop Lockett.
Are Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner going to be all over Kenneth Walker? What do you predict he's going to end up roundabout in that average yards per carry? Is he going to be over 4 or under 4?
I would probably say right around 4, but Javon Kinlaw being back is huge for the run stuffing ability. I think him being an addition as well as our linebacking core is really key. Yes, it is key. By the way, I do want to give a shout out. CJ Gray, I am with you on this one. CJ Gray coming in to say, to the real fans sitting in the rain, amen to that. To the faithful out there making noise today, love it. I love that right now we have 49 folks watching it, 49 for the faithful. Hey, Rob, don't break that mug like last year.
No.
Keep that mug safe.
Yes, this mug is not going anywhere. I'm not trying on any parkas this year like I did last year to break that one. The trend is continuing. Game Time asking, am I going to have a post-game show? Abso-freaking-lutely, I am going to have a post-game show. I'm going to be breaking it down and hopefully celebrating my ass off when doing so.
Nice.
All right, what do you think the final score on this one is going to break out to be? And do you have a player of the game for the Niners today?
28-14, and I really think a sneaky player of the game is going to be Elijah Mitchell. He has fresh legs, and he was running hard last week.
Dude, he was running so hard, very physically. How many carries do you think Elijah gets? How many bites at the apple today?
20. I would say 20.
Boom. That's huge. I got to think that Elijah's probably more in the 10 to 15 carry range, but I will not be surprised if he gets rolling and Kyle sticks with the hot hand and those carries trend towards 20. I will definitely not be surprised if he finds his way into the end zone at least once today. I'm hoping this doesn't turn out to be a super low scoring game like that game in 2019 against the Washington Commanders, wherein it was, whatever, we finished up there 9-6. I'd like to see scoring some touchdowns, but man, I love a good mud freaking football game.
I think the score will be low because of that, but I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards 21-10, honestly, for a final score.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's solid, man. Well, I'm excited for this. It is 1:24. I need to get upstairs and catch this kickoff. You need to catch this kickoff. Everyone needs to catch this kickoff. Josh, it's a pleasure chatting with you today, man. I hope that we get an opportunity to do it again next week before the division round matchup.
Yes, sir. I hope so too. Have a good day.
Hey, you too, Josh. Take care.
Bye.
All right, man. Great show. Love talking with the Sneakerheads. Sean 951 Niners, sorry that you couldn't get on. I saw you there in the Uber. We were right there about to get it. We will make sure to have another call-in show this week. To those that were asking, I saw someone say, hey, man, haven't seen too many streams from you. Hope you're okay. I am doing okay, just busy. It has been life getting in the way, but nothing to fret about, and I will definitely be making my best attempt. Here we go. It was Darren Worthington coming in with that one. Yes, during the playoffs in particular, you are going to see Rob Schuh's face regularly. It's game time. Time to go. I will see you all post-game. We hopefully will be celebrating. I agree. It was a great show. You know the drill. Let's watch this game. Let's freaking knock out the Seahawks. Let's get this dub. Let's advance to the division round and host another playoff game. And let's hope that the Eagles lose this next week so that we can host a third playoff game. Until then, Jedi says it's almost game time. Let's get there. Do the deed. Like and subscribe. Until next time, until post game, you know the drill. Cheers, faithful.